pressing button record. And today is Thursday, November 19th. And I'm going to be talking trading gaps with AI. My name is Sergey Savastyuk. I have a PhD in applied mathematics. I used to teach at Santa Clara University here in Silicon Valley. Then I started a few companies, had good exits. And what is left is actually this company, which I'm still developing with quite a big group, about 30, 40 people, different data scientists, software developers. It's quite a sophisticated enterprise. Okay, so what is Tickeron? It's important to understand. I always say that in my presentation that we're somewhat different than any other websites you can see. We are Security and Exchange Commission registered company. Okay, what is the difference? The difference is that under these guidelines we cannot tell you any BS. Okay, if a company is not registered, and actually here I'm following for almost entire year that saga with Online Trading Academy. They were sued and looks like they settled the case. So as you can see, Federal Trade Commission sued Online Trading Academy and they settled the case. As you can see, they're going to pay quite a big fines, like 5 and 9 million for founders, and there's a lot of millions are going to go from company to benefit injured consumers. Okay, so what it means they did mislead their customers when they were presenting their own systems, and they're saying, oh, that possible, this possible. Why they did that? Because they were not SEC registered. If they would have had a compliance department as we do, then it would never happen. Okay, so from that perspective, you can actually trust to our company more, and you can trust to other companies which are SEC registered. If you want to find out how to identify these companies, then you have to find or not to find Form ADV Part 2. Okay, so here's an example: known company Betterment. Here is the ADV Part 2. You can access it. And what it means they are SEC registered, okay? Most of the companies you are accessing, they are not. Brokers typically are registered. Most of the websites where you get any tips, 99% they are not, okay? Why we did this registration? Because we're planning to use our robots and trade with real money. And that's going to be our next step of the development. So we do everything in algorithms because quite a lot of trades these days are made with AI algorithms and all kinds of algorithms. And the trading is emotional. And in one of the presentation, I found the following slide that one of the advice for the traders: try to become as robotic as possible when trading. Okay, so instead of being robotic, what we do, we create robots, and then you can see how they trade, and then you can see how they trade, and you can follow them. Okay. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to cover these topics, okay? So I'm going to tell you what are the gap in the classical sense, okay? Classical, like you can go to the Investopedia or any other source, and that's where you're going to find this information. And I will show you how you can use our scanners to trade some gaps, ups and downs, okay? The main feature of our algorithms, which are related to gaps, they're based on a so-called group analysis. I will tell you in my presentation, and I will tell you how to analyze groups, and I will tell you why you should be looking at the groups before trading. And then I will tell you what is a gap of a stock from a group. What is a stock gap? Let me correct it. Stock gap from a group, right? So, and I will show you how to trade a gap for a stock which departed from the group, right? So then what we did, we created robots which are trading gaps, okay? But not in a classical sense, even though it is a subset, our robots have a subset of a classical sense, but we have more than the classical approach, okay? So let's review what are the gaps. Imagine these are the candlesticks, right? And let's assume it is the previous day. Then what happens, there are gaps up and down, okay? So imagine there was a night, now market is closed, and then tomorrow stocks, this particular stock is gonna open down, okay? So this is a gap. That call is a gap down, okay? So then the stock traded another day, and then next day is gonna open here, and this gap is called gap up, okay? So as you can see, here is a definition, and that's what it says, that this is the end of day close, this is the opening, and everything can happen overnight, and that's what's going on, okay? There are different strategies to trade, and then I did trade myself these gaps. So for instance, I was coming in the morning and then coming right here and seeing the gap down, and I was trying to trade the following way, okay? So for instance, see, this is actually two different types of a gap downs. Example, end of day, it went down, right? And this is end of day, and then gap down, and then went up, right? So when stock getting to the closing price of a previous day, then people say the gap is closed. And quite often, but in my experience, it was pretty much 50-50. I was getting these cases. You see, I was trying to get here and then waiting a little bit more, and it was a slide, right? So you see, there was an attempt to close the gap, but it didn't go here, right? Here, as you can see, gap down, made an effort and closed the gap. As you can see, it closed higher than this closing day. Why it happened? Happened for many reasons. And some of the reasons are those guys who are called market makers. So those people have quite often big orders. So for instance, buy or sell millions of shares, okay? So in order to live and make their own living, they manipulate with prices. For instance, they, at this particular moment, they've got an order to, for instance, in this case, sell, no, let me see. So this is a gap down, and they are getting an order to sell quite a lot. So what they do, they get a big order to sell. They already have an order, so they lower the price. So that means they, for the client, they sell. You see, they sell it right here. Who is buying? They buying. Yes, when they get a big order, they typically buy like a buffer. So then what happens when they've got this stock for this price, okay, and somebody doesn't care about that gap, and they started increasing the price and then sell higher. So they pretty much have that profit over day. And that's what happens with the gaps. Here, it's very possible that this particular case, somebody got an order to sell, and they keep selling, and they still have it. They sold more and then started selling to the public, okay? That's what happens with the gaps, okay? And as I said, I was trading, and it was like 50-50. Sometimes I was here, I was not able to close the gap. I was losing money. Somewhere here I was exiting. And then sometimes I was closing the gap and I was making money from here to here, okay? What are the cases with gaps? Some of the gaps appear when earnings were overnight. They reported, they're very positive, and the market makers see quite a lot of orders to buy. They raise the price, they sell from the buffer, and then here price goes up, okay? So that's how you can play the gaps when you know the earnings reports, and then you see the gap, and then stock keeps going up. So very high probability is going to continue to go up, okay? So let me show you where you can get, as I promised, these scanners we have. So you go here, you go to ideas, and as you can see, scanner day, 1 day gap up, okay? So you click here, and now you see all the gaps which were today, right? And they are pretty big gaps. Someone was 400%, 30% gap, okay? You see all of them gap up, right? So I can also open another window and type ticker on, and then ideas, and these are the gaps down, right? Okay, so you see these are the scanners for gaps down, right? So let's look at them, what happened. So you see 400% gap up, 30%, 29, 27%. So what are you going to do with them, right? When there are gaps up, you can try to short them, because quite often it goes down. Like for instance, this case, you see it went down, right? This one went up and then stabilize even higher. What you can do in our system, you can do the following. You click here and then go to the ticker where we give pretty much all information which you need to identify what's going on, okay? So let's look at this commentary. As you can see, every time you come here, we give a commentary for a day, for a week, what was going on. You see all the analysis and analytics here pretty quickly. So we don't give only a charts, we give also a calculations, what was the drawdown, what was going on pretty much every day, week, month, a quarter, okay? Let me continue my story. When I was trading and I was making like 50-50, pretty much staying in the zero when I was trading gaps, I started kind of getting curious to one of my first algorithms, how to trade better with gaps, okay? And then I realized the following, that if I know where the group is going, then I quite often was in positive territory rather than a negative. What it means, group? Let me tell you what we have about these groups. And that's the reason we developed that system, which on top of analysis of stocks, we analyze groups. So you see, this is a group containing this company, CORT, right? C-O-R-T. And these are the groups, and you can analyze them. So for instance, psychiatric theme, right? It has only 2 stocks, but that means I kind of already know what this company is all about. So most likely it's pharmaceutical, it's some kind of psychiatric type of a drug. It belongs to the group treatment. But as you can see, we're also calculating the correlation of this particular stock to this group. So it looks like for this stock, there are only 2 stocks which I can analyze, and the correlation is 95%, okay? Okay, so what I can do is to click here, and then select and see them in a different perspective. So I can look at the scorecards, I can look them in the screener. Let me look them in the screener, okay? So every time you see this blue bar, you can transfer the groups of stocks to anywhere. So I'm gonna transfer them to the screener, okay? And now I know this company and this company pretty much related to each other because they are in a similar situation. That's what is called a group. The group could be two, which is really a small group, and the group could be more, but then what is more stocks, but what is important is the fact if they are correlated, okay? So let me do the following, just to show you better groups than these examples. Let's go and see Tesla, right? So everyone likes Tesla. So we go to Tesla, go. Okay, now we arrive into the page of Tesla and let's look at the groups. Okay, you see 3 stocks, electrical cars, okay, motor vehicles, 16 stocks, correlation 86, which is not bad. Clean tech, charging battery 71. As you can see, we give what? We give the 1 day change or like 1 month change for Tesla and the group, okay? So what you can see that within a month, Tesla gained 18%, but 3 other stocks gained 63%. Okay, so what it means? It means for this particular case, Tesla somewhat even behind some of other groups, some stocks in other groups, okay? So look, in a motor vehicle, 16 stocks, they gain 54%, but Tesla gained only 18. Wow, okay, did you know that? No, you didn't. And that's what we do. And now we're approaching the following kind of analysis, okay? So let me show you that analysis. So I'm gonna click here, motor vehicles, and then show you these scorecards, okay? In the scorecards, you get a report and analysis on all here 19 tickers. And in this particular case, for the purposes of the demonstration, it's hold, right? Which is, just let me see. Oh, you see all of them hold. Interesting. So that means they've got to some particular territory and then hold. So you can view them. You see, it was a lot of kind of interesting developments and all of them hold. Never seen that before, but you can analyze here all these stocks. Let's assume it is hold, right? But what is important is that we helping you to analyze entire group and give you the particular trends, okay? Let me go and then present to you this picture, okay? So now imagine this is your stocks. They like in a herd, and it could be 20, 50, whatever the number in a herd. And then imagine there was like a noise from the that side, and they're going to move to this side, noise from that side, and the herd moves to this side. So if you look at this particular stock or a particular shape inside, so the probability is going to move with the herd very high. So what is important is to determine whether or not this group moving up or down, and whether or not there is a gap between this herd and a particular stock, okay? So that brings us to this picture, okay? So imagine something happens in this particular case. This is the blue line. It is this herd, right? And let's assume it went up for whatever reason. And I remember myself discovering that effect when I was trading some holdings of particular ETFs. And I noticed that an ETF moved up, and then some of the holdings moved up. So that means group moved up. But then I noticed one stock was behind. So this is one, I call it lost ship, right? When you have that lost ship and you can determine that there is a gap, because it's supposed to go together, right? Particularly when it is a part of ETF and it's a holding, one of the holdings of the same ETF that's supposed to be going up, but it doesn't. And that's how you discover inefficiencies of the markets. So can you track these inefficiencies? It's very difficult. I remember finding them accidentally and then trading them. I was pretty much successful all the time. I said, wow, that's cool. What is required is pretty much instant confirmation at the moment of these gaps where the group is going, okay? So the group, if the group going down together with this stock, then there is no way that stock is going to close the gap. But imagine this situation when it made this gap, but the group didn't move, okay? If you check that with the group, then you pretty much immediately can determine whether or not that gap is going to close, okay? And that was my discovery, one of the earliest, maybe like 15 years ago, okay? So this time, I did implement that on this piece of software in those robots. Why? Because it's very hard to find and make a confirmation where the group and where the stock, okay? So what we did, we created these gap traders, and they finding the gaps in a classical sense. They can be found right at the beginning of the trading day, or they can be found in the middle of the day or at the end of the day. It doesn't matter for us because we always have these calculations where we have these blue fields, and then we know where the groups are going, okay? And then we're comparing this number and this number, looking at the correlation and say, oh, okay, there is opportunity. And what happens, our AI is constantly searching for this type of opportunities and then present them in the form of robots, okay? So if you want to do it manually, okay, let me show it here. Yeah, in a scanner, right? So imagine, I don't know, I didn't find, oh yeah, maybe here could be a good group. Let me try to find LB brands. Let's see if it's going to be a good example. Yeah, you see highly correlated stocks. So we have not only the themes, you see brand names, 73%, but we always extract a group which we call highly correlated stocks, okay? And then, as you can see, this company, L Brands, right, gained 17%, okay? And the group gained only 6%. So with the proper analysis, we can determine whether or not there is a possibility to short this stock, okay? When you do that, you really have to make sure that really, let's check it and see what's going on with the scorecard for this group, okay? So you've seen, I click here, then I clicked on this, you see, it's also kind of uncertain group, right? For whatever reason, then I would not short this LB because I'm looking at the gap, and gap here is in opposite direction. So the stock gained more than the group. So theoretically, it must join the group, or group can join the this stock, right? So the group maybe later is going to go up. and the stock might be staying here, okay? So what we did pretty much instructed the robot to do this investigation. What's going on with the group? What's going on with this? What are the trends? And make some conclusions and do the trading, okay? So now I'm gonna be talking about the robots, but before I do talk about the robots, I will show you one feature in our screener where we analyze groups specifically, okay? So I'm gonna go screener home, and I will show you one feature you're not gonna be able to find in any other screener, which are group trends, okay? So what we have is, so what we have here is this, it's industry, let me do themes, okay? So as you can see, these are the themes, and so now it's clear. There's some kind of maybe reloading of data going on, and now I understand why it's hold everywhere. Okay, but let me demonstrate that anyway. So as you can see, themes of cardiovascular stocks, 12, right? And what you can do, you can find out, okay, what are the holdings of that theme, and then you can analyze them separately, okay? So here is the way to analyze themes. Now let's go back to the then robots, okay? So what we did, we introduced these robots and tested these robots on different types of stocks, okay? So as you can see, you should understand that if you buy one robot, you can always switch from one robot to another, meaning here's a button follow. I don't have that button because I have 3 robots and I don't have it. But you should understand that if you buy one, you can switch from one robot to another. And then the difference is that during the trading hours, you're going to be able to follow only one. But during this time, when the market is closed, then you can look at everything, okay? So now let's look at the gap trader, and these are the stocks more than 100. As you can see, there's other swing traders, and you can switch between them pretty much any time, except that when the market opens, that's what you're going to see the trades from a particular robot you are sticking at the opening bell, okay? So which one you want to look? Let's look at the gap trader and look at the details, okay? Okay, so now let me explain how the robots are built. First of all, here is a button where all the settings are presented, okay? So look, this is a clear disclosure how this robot is built. So as you can see, this gap trader goes to the market every 15 minutes, okay, and looks for the gap of 6%, okay, between these stocks. How many stocks? 97 stocks, okay, and their value of the stock between 50 and 100 approximately, okay, and then what it does, it enters both long and short positions, and then we set up a stop equal to the potential profit, okay? Stop loss is the same as profit coefficient and equals about 4%, okay? We right now building additional filters, but these particular robots don't have these filters yet. But if you still sticking with the subscription, you can always switch, just press the button follow in the future, and you can look at new robots, okay? So this is the way they work, okay? Now let's look at these stocks. In order to look at them, you can click here at the button, customize. And as you can see, the black ones are those which are selected out of 2,784. Okay, so that means this robot was customized for these particular stocks. Okay, so you can introduce anything else. So for instance, Agilent, right? Then you can add it, but then you're going to see and you have to view how the statistic is going to change if you introduce that one. And I don't know the pricing, but theoretically it's going to work. Okay. So I'm not going to change these settings, and I will continue how we build that statistic, okay? First of all, you can look at this number, 16. So what it means in order to get this gain, and as you can see, annualized about 80%, right? And so 16 open trades, and this is a 10,000, okay? So it might be not 10,000, it might be any number you want, but for you it's going to be easy to scale. Let's assume you're trading even with options or small amounts. It is a matter for us to use 10,000 for the purposes of the collecting the statistics, okay? Because the easier collection of statistics, the easier to recalculate and easier to present it, okay? So then, look, average profit is about 2%, and average loss is about 1.5%. So that means we're constantly making, you see, $75 on average, which is 0.75% every day, okay? Average duration is 1 day. So we stay position not very long. We are prepared to get out. An important thing with this robot that the profit is much better than the loss. And that's what every trader wants. And as you can see, it was 281 trades made, and they're closed trades. Open trade 0, it means after opening bell, either it closed trades or never opened today. There was no signal to open trade, and it's fine. That means doesn't make too many trades, and then what it is. So absolute drawdown, if you know what it is, it's like how far down this can go, and it's pretty good on a 16 maximum open. Then it's a good result. Okay, so I have a question. Let me look at that. On the 20, yeah, okay, so we can look at another robot on the 20, but you can always switch. Okay, gap trader on the 20. Let's look at this one, okay? Okay, so as you can see, 107 stocks in this robot. Every other settings are the same. Every 15 minutes, we're looking into the market and looking at these stocks and making these trades, okay? Now, as you can see, these are different. The average profit, $260, $245. This is a guessing game, and no other features. And we're planning to introduce more features to filter out. This one position was open. Yes, it is in a loss, but if we look at the group, let's see if there is a group. Okay. But you're saying there was no such short position for this one. Let's look at this one. Okay, you see? Yeah, and this is the explanation, okay? As you can see, highly correlated stocks, 16 stocks, and they gained 3%, and this one gained 8, right? So there was a moment in time when this stock actually had a gap of 6%, more than 6%, and that's the reason the robot said, okay, it's a possibility to trade short because that group is far behind, and that was a decision made by a robot, okay? good or bad, but that's what it is. So maybe there was no short position at some brokerages, but they were a short position on others. Okay, and as you can see, this is the real demonstration of this analysis. Okay, in order to find that quickly, it's practically impossible. From my experience, I was getting these type of signals accidentally when I would find them. But on markets which are going up, a shorting would be not the best idea. And we're going to be adding additional features which are going to be looking at all kinds of additional scenarios. But even with these scenarios, as you can see, already not a bad results and a good hint. And then how you can use it, okay, at this particular moment. You can just get these signals. And if you want to do extra analysis, I showed you how you can do it. Also look at the overall trends. And then one way of doing that could be as follows, okay? So how would I do? I would take this one and then move them immediately. Let's assume I got a signal, right? Then I would immediately move them to scanner, okay? You can open as many scanners as you wish, and then you move them in a scanner, and then observe what's going on with the group, okay? And then, as you can see, this is all stocks immediately in the scanner, okay? What good about these scanners we have is as follows, that as soon as you open it, let's assume you open it at, let's just say, California time, or whatever, like 30 minutes after the opening bell, or 1 hour after the opening bell, right? And as soon as you open the scanner, it starts calculating for you profit and loss from that moment, from that minute, particular minute, okay? And it's going to show the chart, but you're going to see the overall performance of the entire list from that particular moment, right? And then observing that group of highly correlated stocks to this one, right? So you can make a conclusion. Yes, it was gap up. Robert says, yeah, maybe you should short. But by observation, what I see is, where's this? Oh no, where's that scanner? Yeah, and by observation, I see that most of them going up, okay? You see? Like for instance, this is ET, right? Okay, you see at the, somewhere from the middle of the day, you see some of them went up, right? Okay, so then I would be careful to short that. If you want to do extra analysis, and these scanners are really the best tools to analyze highly correlated groups, okay? With additional work, you can do additional filtering, which we provide with these scanners. And in the future, when we add additional features to different types of robots, we're going to be filtering out more false alarms, okay? So we keep improving our robots. That's not the end of the story, but what you can do always to test this technology and test these robots, what you can do is the following, okay? Let's assume you got a signal, right? So for the purposes of testing, you can do like that. Click it here, okay? And then you can do it different ways. Either open here and make paper trade. So you see here, there was a recommendation to make a short sale. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna make this short sale, and that's going to be recorded in my paper trades, right? So here, all the recordings taking place, and then I didn't look a long time to my paper trades. Yeah, that's okay, I'm doing fine. These are my personal paper trades. As you can see, it's my account. I'm making about like annualized 50%. As you can see, it's average duration 6 days. Why? Because I'm making trades pretty much live with you on the webcasts, okay? And then the disadvantage I have is that with this paper trade, that this position, as you can see, it's pending. You see, this one is pending, sell at open. It's going to be executed at the opening bell, okay? Let's look at my statistic. So as you can see, average P&L is about 2.5% per trade because it's 10,000, it's 2.5%. Then this is a gain, this is a loss. It's not good lately, it was better. But you see, I'm winning on the fact that 87% I'm right rather than I'm wrong on the long position. On the short, it's almost 50-50, okay? Maximum open, I had 40, and that's where you look always on this statistic and analyze your results. So before committing big money to these robots, you guys can test them, okay? And as you can see, I still have 9 open trades, some of them good, you see, some of them kind of in loss, but still pretty good results, as you can see. And I made total 255 closed positions, okay? What else should I cover? We're actually planning to make like an exchange of paper trades, and you guys can share your paper trades in the future. I noticed that some of the people were asking to reset to 0, okay? So this is a button, we introduced button, whatever the trades you don't like, you can wipe out and start live from scratch by pressing here, reset to 0. That's a new button. Anyone who is here and want to use it, you guys are welcome, okay? So if you accumulated too many bad trades, you can wipe them out. But in the future, what we're gonna do, introduce maybe 3 paper trades where you're gonna be able, some you can share, some you can track for robots, some of you can do different things, okay? Here, important thing is that as a good recording mechanism, we also always say where that idea came from, because we're pressing button. You see, this is from one of the robots, RTP. That's another robot. This is from Compare. It's a pair trading. This is from Scorecard and so on. So we're recording where these ideas came from. You always can remember which ideas worked for you well, which did not, okay? So let me see where we are. Okay, so we pretty much covered everything, and let me give you more about the robots, okay? We have different types of robots because we have different types of engines. First group of robots, we call them day trading robots because they're based on the real-time patterns, okay? So you can always access this engine on the real-time patterns, and we build robots based on them. You always can look at the settings. The similar way I showed you about the gap robots, okay? Then we build another engine called pattern search engine, which is based on end of day information. And for that purpose, we build robots, we call them swing traders, okay? So what we have also trend prediction engine, and we're right now connecting other engines to the different types of robots to get better results. We're expecting, in fact, to bring to your attention more robots. Let me show you. You see, we have these robots, and here we are testing, in fact, with all kinds of combination, finding for you good robots. And these robots are being tested and tested and tested before we see good results. We can look how many we've been testing, and I really encourage you to stick, you see, search results, about 178 robots are being tested, and all kinds of results you see. different lines, and you see, some of them are still without proper names. When they go to the sale, then they get a better name, better description, and then you can use it. So as you can see, we are being a SEC registered company, give you this type of ideas. We are not playing any games. We're not trading against you or anything like that, right? So we're in business of helping traders to trade better, okay? So let me continue. So I showed you. So we now released, you see it wasn't testing. Now we released some of the gap robots. So we are working on pair trading robots, okay? And one of the webcasts may be in about 3 weeks or 4 weeks. We're gonna release them. I'm gonna make a presentation about pair trading, which is actually the riskless, almost. And that was my experience, and the most profitable strategy was pair trading, and I will talk about that, okay? So what are the way of doing that? As I said, you can review close trades anytime of any robots, okay? During off-market hours, you can review not only close trades, but also can review any open trades, okay? But when the market is gonna open, then you're gonna be able to access and get the notification either from one or two or more robots, okay? So how to buy them? So if you buy them, then you can do the following. Let's assume you buy one in our button here, premium, right? Just to you fully understand how it works, okay? So look, as you can see, it could be 1, 2, or 3. Important thing is that if you buy one robot, we really encourage you to use this $60 per month credit for other products. How it works? Let's assume you like day trading, and then what is good on a day trading, these robots are based on real-time patterns. Okay, you see these are real-time patterns. Okay, so this is an engine which is looking for patterns, and then you see finding this type of patterns, and then presenting them as an engine, right? But then we build robots on top of that, okay? So what is good is you can get a robot, and this product you'll get for free. Plus, the same thing happens with let's assume you trading gaps. I really strongly recommend you to get a screener. Why? Because that's where you're going to be able to verify the groups, get the group analysis and everything. And then you get that for free. As soon as you get that robot for, let's say, $90, you get $60, and then you get it for free, okay? So if you buy 2 robots, we actually give you $120 credit, and that way you can get almost everything, okay? But if you subscribe to 3 robots, 3, right? So you get all robots plus $120 credit, okay? So here you follow 2, here you all follow all, plus you get pretty much all other products, okay? So you can select, you can subscribe, unsubscribe, follow, and see how it works for you. But I strongly encourage, try it first on a paper trade, see how it goes, test the system, get yourself comfortable, select better robots, select better robots for you, or select engines where you can verify any trades, okay? So guys, oh, I see one more question I didn't notice. Let me see. Those currency pre-select stock will always stay in the same day after yes, yeah, we do not change anything. As soon as it is released, it's going to be there. But you can reduce that number, or you can add any stock to this number. Okay, let me show you. Let me show you. Okay, so it's a testing robots. Yeah. Okay. So you see, this is your robot. Okay. What you can do, you can click here, and then you can unclick. Okay. I think what is that American Airlines, right? So you unclick, it becoming white. You apply. That one is not going to be giving you signals. So it's going to be 106. Okay. 107, right? So let's say Agilent, okay, 108. So what you can do, you keep adding or you keep reducing, depending what you like, what you don't like, okay? And it is your list. It's important to understand that when you follow, you have your own list out of 2,700 stocks, okay? Why we selected those? Because we did that so-called back testing and saw that with the gap trading, these stocks are better than other stocks, okay? And they are under $20, right? So it is a kind of a combination of the work which typically people do with engines. And that's what we did. We did that work for any robot we released so far, okay? Okay, so those have no relations to each other, no. These 107 stocks have no relation to each other whatsoever. What is important is that each stock, which is here, has its own group, you see? Let's look at this example, AAL, right? So let's look, okay? It's American Airlines, as I said, right? So we're going to American Airlines, okay? And as you can see, American Airlines has this group of highly correlated stocks, okay? So when we're looking for gaps, we are every day doing the following. First of all, we're verifying that American Airlines is having these 10 highly correlated stocks. Tomorrow, that list is going to be different, okay? We're not trading these 10 stocks. We're just making these 10 stocks as a reference point on the question whether or not we should trade American Airlines, okay? So pretty much every stock in this list, okay, you see, we have its own list, and they are not related. There is no relationship between this 107 black list, okay? Hopefully I answered your question. Okay, okay, great. So I can make my own list. Yes, you can make your own list, sure. But when you can click and click. Let's say you want to do Agilent, and then you unclick American Airlines, that's your list. It's still 107, doesn't matter, right? AA, what is that? Alcala, right? And so on, okay? So yes, you can do your own list, but what you should do, let me show you how you can verify whether or not it's gonna work, okay? So you go here and then close trades, okay? And now you can sort by ticker. It's a very important function. You sort by ticker, and now what you see that for every ticker, you see AGI, MT, what's that? Yeah, ArcelorMittal. So as you can see, the performance, you see how many trades were traded with the, oh my God. Yeah, you see, it was quite a lot of trades. It was pretty much zero. That's fine. That's live, right? And then what you can do is actually do your own analysis. And if you want, you can remove some of the stocks which are not performing according to your expectations, and then have a better results and a better expectation. So that means if you want to remove some of the stocks from your notification list, which is pretty much notification list, you do the following. Let's assume you don't like, let's say, let's assume you don't like CVA. It's not a bad idea. Let's say you don't like MT. Okay, so what you do the following. You do here, and then you say, okay, I don't want to get any notification on MT. So you go here, find MT, right, and unclick it. That's the way it works. You see, MT. Yeah, you see, unclick it, boom. And you are not going to get any notification on any trades on MT. Done. Okay. Now you have 106. I'm just going to keep it as a original because I'm making presentations, and that should be the same number as in this description. So you see, we oh, not here. Okay. Let me go back. You see. So we did that description. We said 107. As you can see, we didn't change anything. It's going to stay always, just for the purposes of demonstration. Okay, guys, the Zoom is gonna shut us down, so we have about 3-4 minutes left. Please go ahead, shoot any questions, and then make sure that you enable notifications. You see, I did not enable notifications for this particular robot, right? Whatever you follow, don't forget to put notifications. It's important to make sure that it works for you here. Plus, if you go to your personal profile, make sure there is another green button which controls all notification options here. Okay, so you have to, you see, this email and push notification for AI robots. That's what I get as extra notifications. Okay, we actually thinking to connect it to Telegram. I can make a brief survey. Are you guys going to be interested in getting notification in Telegram? If you don't mind, reply here in the chat, yes or no. That would be interesting, because some of the people ask, oh no, okay, so you don't use Telegram. Okay. Anybody else? You guys, you know about Telegram? No. Okay. At the meantime, we are developing our own mobile native application. Okay. So what it means native? It's going to be a real app. You can still use our website in a mobile version. It's still going to work, particularly for robots. But we don't have yet a mobile application, and that's where we're going to get notifications. We're going to get the robots. All the main functionality also going to go to the native application. Okay, more questions? I'm glad that you all stayed. I like the fact that we've got to the point of having more robots. And one of the point of our development is to connect this robot to the real accounts. Okay. Yes, we're going to be testing TD Ameritrade and those which have APIs for connection. And then at some moment, we're going to start trading real money. So far, as you can see, it's a paper trades. Okay. Okay, sure. Okay. Thank you, guys. Yeah. If you have more questions, don't hesitate to ask. We're also giving like one-on-one lesson. You can schedule if you have more specific questions. I helped quite a lot of people. It's a good way to start. If you have a confusion, don't hesitate. Please, guys, do that. If you don't have any questions, one way or another, this session is going to end. And thank you for your time. Hopefully, you're going to enjoy trading with us. And let's build a community, which we're building, in fact, with all kinds of exchange of ideas. And these products are going to be coming up soon. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing. You can always access this presentation in a day or two. And good luck, guys, and good night.